we're looking at Soma Prime with the Incarnon adapter on it. Incarnon Soma. This is such a disappointment. Now, I already knew it wasn't amazing in comparison to the other Incarnons. I had seen videos, I had heard people talk about it, but I thought, hey, maybe it's usable, right? There are a lot of stuff that people say is bad but not good, like Vobin's insane. People say he's bad. There's weapons that people say Mutulus Cernos is bad. That thing's insane. So I thought, maybe Soma's usable. But that's unfortunately not really the case. It's pretty freaking bad. So first off, as you can see, nothing on my Warframe to affect it. We have no companion. Let's go over the evolutions first. The first evolution lets it go into its Incarnon form. And I will show what the Incarnon form does real quick. So you get headshots to build it, obviously, like most Incarnons. Normally, it is a fully automatic gun, very satisfying, huge magazine of 200. It has actually pretty horrible accuracy, to be honest. But the Incarnon form makes it have way more recoil. It actually is more accurate, surprisingly enough, and it makes it shoot like a shotgun, sort of, right? It has a more multi-shot than it normally does. But it doesn't have the spread of a shotgun, right? So one of my favorite YouTubers, Lazar, he actually said it becomes basically shotgun. I actually don't think that's true. I know I just used comparison, but I honestly feel like this feels more like a normal rifle than the normal form does. So don't view it like a shotgun. It's got the range of a rifle because it is. But yeah, as you can see, it shoots a lot slower as well. It has a lot of recoil, but it becomes more accurate and it shoots slower and changes the stats. And it's got decent Incarnon charge, right? And decent ammo in the Incarnon. So you would think, oh, it's probably good. No. Now, here's the stats. No, first we'll look at this up. Okay, so evolutions. Fortress Salvo or Fortifying Bloodshed. You can only get plus 12 base damage and plus 4 punch through if your armor's over 450. Or 10 base damage, and on a bleed kill, so if a slash proc status effect kills an enemy, you get 100 overshield. I personally prefer Fortifying Bloodshed. This just, procs more often, but you can go with either one. The base damage of normal Soma is like 24, something like that, so this pretty much doubles the base damage, and this is almost double, something like that, right? Oh no, the base damage is 18. Well, close enough. Then we have this tree. Negative recoil, increased accuracy, increased reload speed. Reload speed's the best tier. These can be acquired from the Exilus slot. Definitely go with reload speed, because the base reload is 3 seconds, and that's horrible. This brings it down to 2 seconds, which doesn't just affect reloading the weapon, but switching to and back from the Incarnon form. Then finally, the third tree, the second biggest letdown, other than the stats of the Incarnon. This has horrible options. On reload from empty, plus 6 base damage, and it stacks up to 2 times. This has infinite duration, so you just have to empty your mag and reload twice, and then it's active the rest of the mission. This is kind of mediocre. 40% direct damage per stats type affecting the target. It's kind of like Gun CO, but this is also mediocre. Zeroed in. Increased crit multiplier by 0.6. I think this is the best option, but this is still also mediocre. It's not much. You normally get a 3.0 multiplier on the weapon. Now, we'll equip this so that you can see what the stats are without the bonus crit multiplier. As you can see, the weapon in its normal form, it's Soma, so it's got its insane stats. 30% crit chance, 3.0 crit multiplier, that's insane. 10% status, and then 2.9 impact, 11.4 puncture, 14.3 slash with the first evolution, giving us plus 10 damage for a total of 28.6. Not bad, but it's still not good. It's an outdated weapon. It can't kill very effectively, but it's very fun. The Incarnon, oh, you would think, hey, maybe it's insane. No. The Incarnon is horrible. We scroll down, and you can see it has a multi-shot of 8. Including that multi-shot, our damage goes up to 291. What the Incarnon does, slows fire rate, more recoil, and it gives you less crit chance, but more status chance, and raises the slash damage, right? I believe 24? Yeah, it raises how much slash you have, so it's more likely to get slash. Um, Increasing the status chance is technically speaking in relative to multi-shot. It does increase the status, but it's actually 3% per projectile, but there's 8 projectiles. Our crit chance goes down to 10%. What have you done, DE? Why? Why would you do this? Slower fire rates and no crits? You literally made it not Soma. You made the Soma, not the Soma, with this Incarnon. Why? If you put this on, it'll be at a 4.0 crit multiplier with like no crit chance. So, because our crit is so low, you would think Hunter Mumu, no. I mean, we've got decent status, we have high slash, low crits chance, so Hunter Mumu is obviously a no-go, or one would think. So we will actually replace Hunter Mumu with Fang Fusillade, giving us higher slash. So this right here is what you would run, I'd say. You get punch through and fire rate from Prime Shred, lots of crit, because crit is still going to increase our damage because of how high crit multiplier is, so you still want to build crit. 8.8 because we have Vital Sense, right? It's pretty damn high. And then only 30% crit chance with critical delay. Viral from Malignant Force Rhyme rounds, and then multi-shots, and then stats chance plus damage. It's additive. Gun CO is on this weapon, by the way. And unfortunately, Gun CO on Incarnon weapons only applies to the base damage of the weapon, not including the bonus base damage from evolutions. And that makes up for like half of our damage. So Gun CO is actually only applying to a small portion of our damage in the normal form, though it does apply to a higher amount of bonus damage in its Incarnon form, but it's still not going to be a lot, right? Like, go down here. Yeah, it's only going to be applying to like half of our damage, which is pretty depressing. So the bonus damage from our arcane does matter a lot. So it's gonna need kills to build up, but you're gonna see that even after building up, it doesn't do anything. That was horrible. But now we've built it up, and we're not in the Incarnon form still. Do I even need to give commentary? I mean, it should be pretty obvious why it's bad. Why would you ever use this when there's Burst in Incarnon or Brat in Incarnon? So let's activate Incarnon form. Okay. I mean, surely with the insane slash box or high status or multi-shot, something should melt the enemy. What are those slash procs? It's because our base damage is still quite low. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 shots and a bunch of time for slash to kick in to be able to kill a gunner, a corrupted heavy goon. Right? Steel Path 175. You can kill them in 2 or 1 shot with slash from Burst in Incarnon. What? Why? Just why? This is horrible. Just disgusting. The slash is non-existent. Now, I don't know exactly how Hunter Mumu works, but you're going to see that it actually does more damage with Hunter Mumu, even though the crit chance is so unbelievably low at 30%. So all we have to do is come into here, slap on Hunter Mumu, and now we go back. We still have our stacks built up. Just so you can see a proper comparison, I'm going to let them decay all the way, like so. We still have our multi-shot stacks built up, son of a son. Here, you can see they're decaying. It won't take too long before they're all gone, because I want you to see it from the get-go so you have a true comparison. There we go. So this is with Hunter Mumu instead. You can already see it's doing significantly more damage, but that's because we have such high crit rate in the normal form. So it makes sense that it would be doing more damage in the normal form. It's not horrible, but there's definitely better weapons out there. Now that we have our stacks built up, we go into the Incarnon form. And you can see the slash procs do way more damage, and we're getting more slash procs with Hunter Mumu. Look, 13. We are getting we're getting probably around 5 to 8 times the amount of slash procs with Hunter Mumu than we are building for slash. That's depressing. Absolutely depressing. Just so sad. Why? But then you can see it does kill. It is able to do a fairly decent amount of damage with Hunter Mumu. But Burstin still does significantly better. Bratton does significantly better. So many other guns, non-Incarnon guns, can do better than this. There are a lot of really strong non-Incarnon guns. It's not the worst weapon in the game. This can take you through the vast majority of content, yes. But it's quite lacking in comparison to the other Incarnon weapons. So, when we were doing the slash one though, you might have thought, well, why use unranked Malignant Force and Rhyme rounds? I unfortunately do not have them unranked. I have no spares. That would increase our slash procs, yes, thus increasing our damage. But we would still get less slash more than likely than we are getting with Hunter Mumu, even if we had unranked mods. I'm willing to bet my ass we'd still have less damage. So this still ends up being the better option. A way you could massively increase your damage due to being so reliant on crit but having high multi-shot is flat crit. That would actually make the Soma as an Incarnon weapon be quite strong if you had higher crit. So you could just slap on Arcane Avenger, and that should mostly fix it, right? But the fact that you have to put on an Arcane to fix an Incarnon weapon is just sad. But now that we have it, and we proc Arcane Avenger, and we start getting kills, we're going to have to build our stacks back up. But we're going to do a lot of damage because we get way more slash procs now, right? But our stacks should be like completely built up. Here's a full health. Here we go. Yeah, it takes less shots to get enough slash to melt, right? 2 shots is enough to kill, though it will take some time. But I'd say generally 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 shots is pretty comfortable. 4 to 5 shots, and then you can stop shooting them, assuming you're getting like headshots. But that's not too hard to do. And yeah, Arcane Avenger does help a lot, and it helps fix it because it has such base low crit chance but insane crit multiplier. It is actually quite strong now, but you should not have to do that. It is just bullshit. Raging bullshit. I think this needs a buff pretty horribly. If they could just buff the base crit chance on the Incarnon from 10% to 20% even 20%, that's good enough. That would make it much stronger. 25 would be so good. 25% crit chance would be godlike, okay? But I would gladly take 20%, because then if you had critical delay in a Riven with 200 crit chance, you could get 100 crit chance. So please, DE, please buff this. I really love Soma. Soma's my baby. It's like the Warframe weapon. When I think of Destiny, I think of Galahorn. Soma's the Warframe equivalent. When I think of Warframe, the gun that comes to mind is always the Soma Prime. It's so sexy looking, and it's just so iconic. It's a great weapon, and I love it. It's just, unfortunately, not that good, which is a massive sad face emoji. But it is what it is. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and you learned about the Soma and why it's not great. If you liked the video, then leave a like. If you want to see more random shit, then subscribe. Adios.